Why do we use the phobia suffix when referring to hating gay trans people, homophobia, transphobia, and not the ist like in racist sexist? I'm not sure if that's the first use of phobia for aversion and not fear, but a racist is usually also a xenophobe or a misogynist, technically, but that word fell out of usage. You can describe most instances of racism using the suffix phobia too. Well, I consider myself a humanist and I don't hate humans. Because transist is a part of electrical infrastructure and that would be confusing. I am a pacifist and hate conflicts. Xenophobia, wondering why it's forgotten. Because the words are constructed differently for different meanings. You could have genderist or sexualitist. These would mean someone with some sort of ideology around these concepts. You can have androphobe and xenophobe. These denote specific things the person described hates. Phobia doesn't just mean afraid in this sense. It also means to have a strong aversion to. Hamas sounds like a cult, but maybe that's just me. I think a major part of it is because of how invisible these traits are. Racists and sexists can generally tell who the targets of their hate are, but this simply isn't the case with gay and trans people. This makes them kind of invisible bogeymen who could be hiding in plain sight. So when it comes to recognizing who is gay or trans, the best they have to go off of is witch hunts and stereotypes. Because they are invisible too, a homophobe might look like a man who believes it's a lifestyle choice and that they'll corrupt the children, all while being terrified that he himself may get corrupted into becoming gay. I'm transsexual BTW, and due to my own natural femininity, a lot of people assumed I was a gay man before I started transitioning. In fact, as a teen I had people practically trying to push me into kind of inappropriate male activities to keep me from growing up gay, so I do largely think homophobia is quite a bit closer to a phobia than racism is. We use homophobia and transphobia because they describe fear or hate towards gay and transgender people. The phobia part shows it's not just about dislike, but also about fear or aversion. Terms like racist and sexist focus more on beliefs about race or gender. Because the word transist is already taken, they are not phobic, they are assholes. Phobia doesn't mean fear, but rather being repelled from something. Oil isn't particularly afraid of water despite being hydrophobic. The ist suffix is used to describe someone who embodies or supports a certain concept. If you support feminism, you are a feminist. If you support racism, you are a racist. If you support sexism, you are a sexist. If you have an irrational fear or hatred of something, you have a phobia of it. There is no reason to fear or hate gay, bi, trans people. Any fear or hatred is irrational and thus you are homophobic, etc. The same is said for people of specific religions or areas of the world. Phobias aren't so much about concepts but types of people things. P.S. I am obviously for the sake of efficacy, speaking to specifically human-on-human interactions. People can also be arachnophobic and wood can be hydrophobic. There are also fears that aren't called phobias because of different linguistic roots, etc. Cause they are literally afraid of us trans people. Several people have literally run away from me, and they act like I'm a demon and I'm gonna drag them down to hell. I've never related to Penelope and the Hunchback of Notre Dame more in my entire life. Homoist and transist sound dumb. Sure, have we been saying those words like that? It wouldn't be too bad and it would be normal, but as it stands, it just sounds dumb. People might also mispronounce homoist as homoist, and homoist sounds awful. From my understanding, xenophobia is the phobia version of racism. They are phobias because they have a very distinct fear or hatred. Example, someone with arachnophobia will scream and distance themselves from a spider. The same can be observed at your local grocery store when a homophobic person sees an openly gay employee. Example 2, someone with claustrophobia may begin to hyperventilate when in an enclosed space. The same can be observed with a transphobic person near a transgender person on a packed city bus. I actually had this thought a few days ago. Lol, phobia is from the Greek phobos, meaning fear or aversion. The Greek for hate is miso, hence misogynistic. Women hating, so someone who is racist and hates other race peoples should be called misoxenobic, as xenophobia is a fear of outsiders and otherness. FYI, I fully subscribe to the notion that hate and intolerance does stem from a place of fear. Hate comes from fear. Those people are hateful because they are afraid of something they are too stupid to understand and get over.